Hey everyone, this is Neon. Welcome to Impromptu English with Neon. Where am I today? I am at the University of Louisiana at Lafayette, and I just started my PhD in English at this university. It's a fully funded program, and I also got offered a graduate teaching assistantship worth $2,000 a month. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how I got this fully funded PhD scholarship and also my admissions journey. Stay tuned. Yeah, these are actual turtles, and I see a crocodile or an alligator. So this right here is Cypress Lake. It's at the university campus. So the admissions process started with me obviously gathering all my documents. So what do I need? I needed my transcripts, my bachelor's in English that I completed at Brack University, and also my master's in English transcripts that I also completed at Brack University. So I had them already. So if you're applying for a PhD or even a second master's abroad, then I suggest that you already have those transcripts in hand. But in case if you don't have them, in that case, then you can actually request provisional certificates of your degree completion, however much it has been completed. Maybe you're left with your final semester, maybe you're left with your thesis result or something, then you can request a provisional transcript for that, and most probably your university will help you. But for my case, I had the BA and the MA in English transcripts already, so I needed to upload that in the university admissions portal. What were the other things that I needed? Obviously the SOP, the statement of purpose. That's, you can say, the most important thing, or at least one of the four most important parts of the admissions process. Unfortunately, I had only about 1 day to write my SOP. Do not make that mistake. I'm fairly confident in my writing skills. I've already written a book. If you didn't know, I also made a video on that. It's Sociolinguistic Incompetence. The link is given in the comments. So I'm fairly confident in my writing skills. I also teach writing from the English department. So if you're not from an English department, if you're not confident in your writing skills, and most probably even if you are confident, I suggest you to take at least a few weeks to write your SOP. Good writing is writing in drafts. First you write, maybe you outline your SOP, you write some inspirational things that you find, and try to make it as creative as possible. Of course there is a template, but do not go by the book completely. Try to come up with, let's say, a hook, how you grab the attention at the beginning of your SOP. The first paragraph should have a hook. Maybe start with a quotation, start with an anecdote, then connect it with your main strength. Maybe it's teaching, maybe it's your grades, maybe it's an extracurricular activity. So connect that in your first paragraph in your SOP, and then if you can, at the last paragraph as well, connect back to it. This is called an extended metaphor. So you start with a hook and then you end by referring back to that hook. So it's a literary technique, it's a rhetorical technique. You can think about that. So I started my SOP like that, and also ended with a story as well. So there's a lot to talk about, obviously, about how to write an SOP and things to do and things not to do, but I will not divulge all of that information in this video. I don't want to make it a 20-minute video, so I will make a separate video on that. But your key takeaway from this video, at least, make it as creative as possible and do not resort to any very strict template or worse, ChatGPT. So moving on, besides the SOP, besides your transcripts, what do you need? You need your English language proficiency exam score. The US, they typically prefer the TOEFL, but 99% of US universities also accept the IELTS. So the TOEFL or the IELTS, these are the two most accepted ones. Some universities also accept Duolingo, but less and less, fewer and fewer universities are accepting them, because Duolingo was more like an alternative during COVID times, and now COVID is still there, but the impact has lessened. So either the TOEFL or the IELTS. How much preparation did I have? I think you know that I'm an IELTS instructor. I regularly make IELTS videos on this channel, and I started my IELTS journey about 1 year ago in December of 2023. So I sat for my IELTS test on December 1, 2023, got an 8.5, alhamdulillah, and then started also an IELTS instructor journey. So my preparation for the IELTS was about only 1 month, even less than that, but I suggest you not to do that. At first you can sit for some mock tests. They are not 100% reliable, but they will at least give you an idea of where you are. If you are, let's say, at a band 5 level, then you need more than 1 month, maybe 3-4 months, to get your grammar, to get your sentence structure and other things up to speed, fluency and other stuff. But if you're at a band 6 level, in your first test, on your first mock test, then maybe 1 month is fine to get a 6.5 to 7. But if you aim higher, then you need more time. So how high of a score is required for the IELTS? Many people, actually most people from YouTube and from other places, they say that a high score in IELTS is not required at all. You just need to meet the basic, the minimum requirement, which is most probably for a master's or a PhD student, 6.5, and no band below 6. That means you must get at least 6 in all 4 of the modules of the components of the IELTS: reading, writing, listening, speaking, and your overall score must be at least 6.5. That means, let's say, 7 in listening, 7 in reading, and 6 in writing, 6 in speaking. 7, 7, 6, 6. So no band less than 6, and altogether 6.5. That is an acceptable score, very fine score. But if you want a scholarship, like I got a fully funded scholarship with a graduate teaching assistantship. So a TA-ship or a teaching assistantship typically requires a high speaking score because you have to speak. And a research assistantship, which is a graduate research assistantship, typically requires a high score in writing. Basically, in speaking and writing, the two most difficult because they require your language output. So try to get 7, at least a 6.5 in those 2 modules. My writing score was 8, my speaking score was 7.5. So they are good scores, but I could aim for higher ones. You know, even the top universities, the top tier universities, like let's say Columbia University, it says on its website that for a TA-ship, for consideration of being a TA, you need a speaking score of a minimum of 8. It's a very high score. Many people do not know that. They think that, okay, 6.5 is written there, but for a teaching assistantship, which is basically a scholarship
or
but
maybe
stipend
overall 8, but with a speaking score of 7 or 7.5.
Right. Even if you get an overall score of 8, or as I got 8.5, but my speaking score was below 8, so I cannot apply to Columbia University and expect to become a teaching assistant. Okay, so at least not in the beginning. So remember that. Now we talked about the SOP, we talked about transcripts, we talked about IELTS or TOEFL.
What about LOR?
That's what I was coming to. The LOR and the writing samples. These 2 are remaining. The LOR stands for letter of recommendation. So you need 2 to 3 LORs or letters of recommendation from either your university teachers or professors or from your professional field. And many universities will actually make it known, will actually say that you need at least 2 LORs from your academic life.
And
The
for
third
your
one.
university, how many LOR did you need?
For the University of Louisiana at Lafayette, UL Lafayette, I needed 3 because I
Okay.
applied for the PhD.
People say that designation matters in LOR. Is it true or not?
So it doesn't matter that much, but of course the person that you're taking the recommendation from, he or she should not be a new lecturer. Like in Bangladesh, lecturers, like I used to be a lecturer at Green University and Northern University of Bangladesh, so I would not make for a good LOR provider because I am not that experienced, and they will see my designation that it's a lecturer. So my suggestion is to at least take from a professor point. Like it could be an assistant professor, it's fine. So
What
there are
about
3
senior lecturer?
still assistant professor, at least from the assistant professorship onward. No lecturer or senior lecturer or lecturer A, lecturer B, lecturer C. Try to get all of your LORs from.
What about the content inside LOR?
So it should be genuine. You know, in Bangladesh, I think it's many people know, professors are really busy. They're really busy people, and it's very difficult to get an LOR even from your supervisor. So Alhamdulillah, I was able to get mine in time, but one of my LOR providers, of course I will not say his or her name, he or she was late. So he or she provided the LOR, submitted the LOR after the deadline. So I was worried whether that will be a problem. So it can be a problem, but fortunately for me, it was not. So make sure that you approach your LOR provider, your teacher, your sir or madam, at least 1 month beforehand. And also make sure that you remind him or her, like every week, let's say, and also be very polite. It's a very sensitive issue. So as I was saying, 2 from your academic life, and the third one, if there is a third one that is required, it can be from your professional life, or maybe you had an internship, you can go to that person as well. Now coming to the final part, there are some more small parts, like of course you have to give your background information, you have to give your institutional information, and if you want to bring your F2, which means your dependent, if you have a wife or a husband, or if you have children, you have to give some information regarding that as well. But in the application process, the most important part that is left is the writing sample. And people, you know, even I myself, I disregarded the writing sample. I didn't think that it matters that much. I thought that okay, my writing sample, so I can just give any of my writings there. Maybe I can copy paste something from my novel. Maybe I can copy paste some excerpts from my published articles. So I actually didn't give a good writing sample. Now that I think back, now that I reminisce upon it, what I did was that I uploaded the entire article that was published. So Alhamdulillah, I have 2 published articles. One of them I provided in the writing sample, as the writing sample, the whole article. So later on I got to find out that maybe it's not completely true, but as far as I know, the admissions committee, they think that okay, it's a writing sample, fine, it has your name, it is actually your article because your name is there in the published article, the link is there and everything, they can check it out. But they will also think, did you actually write everything genuinely? How come your name is there, it's also published, it went through a review process? But it's precisely because of that. Since it got through a review process, there was proofreading involved. Maybe the review process had a lot of, the first draft that you submitted had a lot of grammar mistakes, had a lot of structural mistakes. So it doesn't reflect your genuine level, your actual level. So one of my senior colleagues, he actually suggested me, like I already got the admission, but he said that it would have been a better idea to provide an unpublished writing sample. So yes, it could be a research article, but it should be unpublished. You can just give an excerpt from there. Some university admissions portals, they give a page count, maybe 10 to 15 pages, 15 to 20 pages. So UL Lafayette, my university, didn't give a page count, so I gave the entire article, which was about 20 to 23 pages. So if it's 5 to 10 pages, 10 to 15 pages, then you cannot fit the whole of your paper, if you have any full research paper, that is. So what you can do is that you can cut paste, you can pick and choose which parts are more important. Before I end the video, I just wanted to talk a little bit about when I got the acceptance letter and how I came here, how I bought the plane tickets and so on, because even though, it's a very important part, even though I got the fully funded offer from UL Lafayette, from this university, I had to spend more than 8 lakh taka coming here. Yes, not the beginning of this month 8 lakh taka was spent, but we brought $5,000, which is equivalent to more than 6 lakh taka in Bangladeshi currency now. So my wife and I,
And
we
also
came
plane
together.
ticket and shopping.
Right.
2 lakh.
So
Each.
in altogether, I would say around 10 lakh was spent just for preparing to come packing the bags, luggage bags, the luggages, buying the plane tickets. The plane tickets cost us 3 lakh taka. So everything
For 2 people.
for 2 people. So 1.5 lakh for me, 1.5 lakh for my wife. And actually, the week before I came to the US, I saw that many people still didn't cut their plane ticket yet. And at that time, the
was
price
double.
was double. It was doubled. Like for me, it took me 1.5 lakh. For my wife, 1.5 lakh. So altogether 3 lakh. But for that person who was searching for a ticket, he was questioning in a group chat. He was saying that for only one person it was 3 lakh taka.
Wow.
Yeah. So it also depends on the airlines. It depends on how far away your plane journey is. So a good time to cut your plane ticket is about 2 months prior to your plane journey. Some of you know this. I actually was supposed to come to the US about 5-6 months earlier. I got the chance at fall 2024, which means it was supposed to start in August, and my visa interview, it was a late interview. It was supposed to be on August 8th, but because of the country's upheaval, Bangladeshi political upheaval, the US embassy was closed for a lot of days, for actually more than 1 month, but still they were taking some emergency slots. But my slot, which was also an emergency slot, it got shifted back about 11 months away afterward. So, and then I had to again apply for an emergency slot. It took me 44,400 taka for me and my wife to actually apply for the emergency slot again. And then alhamdulillah we got the slot and we passed through the interview. I will make another video about the visa interview, about that. It was
And
also
also
a
the
hectic
immigration process.
also the immigration process during the flight. So yes, it took us about 3 lakh taka for the plane tickets, about 6 lakh plus taka we bought for the first month, and almost it has entirely gone away. About 6 lakh has already been spent for the first month because we had to buy furniture like a bed, a sofa, and other stuff. Of course, some of these are not essential. Like you do not need a bed. Maybe you can lie on the floor for the first month. Something.
And
You do
also
not
they can
need-
also buy a mattress.
We bought a mattress in the beginning, then we bought the bed frame. The bed frame arrived late. So the mattress was fine. We didn't need a bed actually. But it's fine, we also got the bed now. In the beginning, the first month, how much is required? I would say it depends on the state. We are in Louisiana, Lafayette, Louisiana. It's a relatively cheap, I wouldn't say cheap, but reasonably priced place compared to places like California and New York. So if you're in New York, you need even more than 5 lakh taka, 6 lakh taka for your first month. And the two of us are together, but if it was just one person, it would be more than 50%, like if together it is costing us 6 lakh together, I mean alone it would cost me more than 3 lakh, because many of the things we do not need to pay twice. Like we do not need 2 beds, obviously we do not need 2 Wi-Fi's, we do not need many other things. So if you bring your wife, you bring your husband or your children, you can do it, but it depends on your stipend. I'm getting $2,000 a month, hopefully, and my rent is about $850. It's a reasonably priced rent here in Louisiana, but in New York it would be double. So also it depends on the state that you are in. But if you're in, let's say, if you come to Louisiana, if you come to this university, I would say bring at least $3,000 for your first month. $3,000, not even 2,000. And if you would like to also buy a bed in the first month and some furniture like a dressing table, let's say, we didn't buy a dressing table yet, but if that's essential, that is an essential thing I think for women, so you would need even more than $5,000. So yeah, I'd like to end the video here right now. Thank you so much for listening to me. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you stay with me on my journey to become more fluent in English. And I'll be uploading more such videos of how I came abroad, and I guess about the plane journey, about the what?
Immigration.
The visa interview. Yeah.
Immigration process.
Immigration process. Bye.